Jessica threw out the first pitch at Rochester Red Wings game, but she never expected this could happen. Marine Nicholas Mucci surprised his sister during the first pitch by serving as catcher. Nicholas is stationed in California's camp and has deployed in Afghanistan, gave his sister the surprise of a lifetime.
There you go, run it out. No, you're underneath it, buddy, underneath it.
Waiting patiently for the perfect moment.
I made this decision about 5-6 months ago while I was in Kabul, Afghanistan.
To surprise his son, the shortstop.
I really would like to surprise him on the baseball field, and it'd be the most appropriate because my son loves baseball so much.
A half inning, and the wait is just too much.
What do you say now? You didn't think I was going to miss the game, did you?
U.S. Army Colonel Ed Box was stationed in Afghanistan for 11 months, unable to watch his son John.
I saw that old pop-up.
Play his senior baseball season for Fort Knox High School. Colonel Box not only has a son on the team.
You guys are hitting the ball. Hey, good rip. Find a hole next time.
But helped coach the team last season, and he had no trouble jumping right back in.
Hey, way to hang, way to hang.
Colonel Box is back for 2 weeks and able to watch another special moment for John, this time off the field. A brief break in the hardships of a military family, and a day well deserved by any stretch of the imagination.
Daddy's home.
When Northside Methodist Academy 9th grader Braden Bagwell was called to the gym with his classmates for a fire prevention assembly, he didn't think anything of it. Braden was chosen to be a volunteer, and that's when this assembly turned into something more. As Braden helped this man get out of his fire gear, he got the surprise of his life. It wasn't a fireman underneath the gear, it was his father, Staff Sergeant Brandon Bagwell.
All right.
In just seconds, the two embraced, a moment both have been waiting on since Brandon was deployed to Afghanistan 15 months ago. Brandon wanted to do something big for his son since he's missed a lot of milestones in his life due to the deployments. So for the last several weeks, he worked with his family, the school, and the Dothan Fire Department to make it a surprise Braden would never forget.
So could we have the person that's going to help them, please?
Full of hugs and families for the family of Captain Ronnie Burton as he surprised his kids. This is that Power 8 pack for his recent tour in Kuwait. Children in the auditorium were standing up and cheering them on for this joyous occasion. Now, we spoke to Captain Burton after his family's big moment on stage.
Army Corporal James Bass of North Carolina, who spent the past year stationed in Kuwait, surprised his third-grade son Joshua on Friday during Pearson Town Magnet Elementary School's Picture Day.
Dad, you like that? What is that? Your dad? How's he in the picture? No dad not in the picture. Look, see right there? That's just a... What's up, man? Hey. How you doing, man?
Good.
Huh?
Good.
You can't get enough of that, can you? That's Officer Larkin Reese and his daughter Dallas today at Woodland High School in Stockbridge. What a hug. Dallas says it was a wonderful surprise.
Larkin Reese, that sounds familiar. Oh wait, that's my dad. And I turned around and I'm like, oh, okay.
Officer Reese just returned home today from a tour in Afghanistan, but the surprises weren't finished. He showed up at his son's baseball game to surprise him as well.
A family whose dad is serving in Afghanistan this Christmas decided to welcome home other soldiers, lucky enough to make it home for the holiday. But the best present of all was making his way down the jetway. First Lieutenant Kenyon Nelson of the Army Reserves has been deployed in Afghanistan since February, but his commanding officer saw to it that he made it home before Christmas. And his wife saw to it that the kids had no idea. Nelson spending his first moments with the kids he hadn't seen in nearly a year. 16-year-old Savion, 13-year-old Ajani in tears, and a long hug for the youngest, 9-year-old Kadir.
Just this morning, she returned home after serving in Afghanistan with the National Guard's 114th Transportation Company. She'd been apart from her son for 9 months.
All of a sudden we had to file into the building and get information, and I, just look up and Cooper and my mom are right there.
But Cooper, well, he'd waited long enough.
He just kept smiling like he was in awe of me.
A moment captured by a Care 11 photographer posted on our Facebook page.
As Staff Sergeant Corey Humphrey snuck silently into his son's second-grade classroom, Corey Humphrey Jr. had no idea what was happening behind him. So focused on his teacher, at first he didn't even turn to see who tapped him on the shoulder. It all took a moment to sink in.
CJ.
Daddy.
I miss you too. How you doing?
But when it did, neither wanted to let go.
Give me a kiss. Wow, you're big.
I miss you so much.
I miss you too.
Staff Sergeant Humphrey, a 16-year Army veteran, served in Afghanistan for the past 9 months as a helicopter mechanic. It's a job that makes his son proud.
Because he works in the Army and works hard.
But it's difficult to spend so much time apart.
You miss so much of their life. Kids grow up so quick, especially when they're little. You leave one day, you come back, they're like little men now.
And this little man clearly admires his father. The two are looking forward to playing Wii and making up for lost time. But first, another surprise for 4-year-old Courtney.
Bookie Boo, what are you doing?
Good.
Good, who am I?
Daddy.
Daddy, yeah. How you doing?
Good.
You been good?
That big hug came as a relief for Staff Sergeant Humphrey. Before his 9-month deployment, he went through months of training. It's been a year and a half since he spent time with his kids.
Just a little nervous, didn't know if she was going to really recognize me after all the time going away.
Turns out he didn't need to worry.
I love my daddy so much.
What's your favorite thing about your daddy?
Loving him.
And as they all readjust to life with Daddy back.
Oh, God, CJ, you're too big for that.
There's plenty of love to go around.
So what's next for this reunited family? Well, they're headed.
The mother of 3 had gone back to school to get her degree after her husband died 3 years ago. Little did she know her Marine Corporal son, Paul, had driven all the way from Virginia to Philadelphia to present his mom with her degree.
Her reaction was exactly what I was expecting. Exactly what I was expecting. I didn't expect anything less. I know my mom's a big crybaby.
Corporal Robinson says his mom is one of his biggest inspirations. For Tondalea, it's the night of her life.
I'm already overjoyed, but this is just overwhelming, I tell you. Words just cannot express, and this is the next best thing next to my husband.
Special delivery for Teresa Burton.
Smiles and tears. Army Specialist Cameron Ford caught his mom, Teresa Burton, off guard Tuesday night when he showed up at her front door. She wasn't expecting him home until November. Ford is retiring after 6 years of service to our country.
Breathing. That's cool. Is that hurt you?
6-year-old Rayleigh Summers thought her school day would end like normal until her father surprised her at Western Primary School in Rushville. Dad Corey Summers had been serving in the military in Qatar for the last 6 months. Rayleigh is one of his 6 children. He visited 3 schools today to surprise his kids. Rayleigh's school was the final stop. His family thought he was coming home this Thursday, but he actually arrived last Friday and stayed in a hotel until today.
This moment took months of planning. A surprise at his baby sister's middle school graduation in Escondido. Thing is, no one in his family knew a man they thought was 6,000 miles away had come home. Private First Class Eddie Buston could barely stay in his seat. Less than a day ago, the Army man was in South Korea and hadn't seen his family in nearly a year.
I called her back in January asking, what do you want for graduation? And She said, all I want is for you to be here.
So without telling a soul, he saved his money. Flights home aren't cheap. And as the time neared and the crowd grew, Buston actually worried his investment may not pay off. Let's just say it was money well spent.
And we have a very special guest today.
Nice job, bro. Brother loves you. Hey, brother loves you.
With our cameras focused here, we didn't see the other women in Buston's life head for the stage. First, his twin sister. Then, of course, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
I love you so much.
His trip will only last 13 days. But a moment like this, I'll let you finish the cliche.